quarantine, like we all are. How have you been able to stay creative and sane through this situation?
Oh my goodness! So like, I've had the most success in my life in quarantine. That's why it's
really.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was supposed to be on tour in Europe. I was supposed to be there for 3 months. I went for not even 7 days with, like, not even within a 1 week, I started getting calls from everyone that I had to come home.
Right.
And I was like, nah, I'm not coming home. Like, I didn't work this hard to fly all the way home right now. Like, that's
right.
And, I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're making it worse than it is. And then they were, like, starting to shut down the flights. And, like, it really was getting serious. And my family called, and my sister, like, and she never cries, was like, no, you need to, like, it was crazy. So I packed my stuff and came home. And I was a little bit down because I felt like I had worked so hard, and I had planned this trip for about 6 months, and my team had invested so much money into it and time, and we had this whole thing mapped out. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the launch of my career, like, in Europe. And, so I came back, and I was super down, for a couple of days. And then I was just like, okay, Frank, you worked too hard to let this slip out of your hands. And so I was like, I always see all these people on social media. Now, don't take this the wrong way if anyone's out here, because I feel like people would get upset. But, normal people, not people that want to be a singer or an entertainer, that just want to be, us famous for, I guess, like being, a socialite or,
right.
Social media people.
Big boobs or perfect butt.
And so I'm like, you know what? Like, and they have millions of people who, like, love them and want to follow them, And so I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to really focus on my social media. Maybe this is my time to do that and be able to connect with so many more people. And so I started doing TikToks because people kept telling me, you need to be on TikTok. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's not my thing. And so I started doing these TikToks, and it really was a joke. I was just, like, doing silly things. And all of a sudden, I started seeing these people following me, and my numbers were building. And I started to realize, wow, this is a great way for people to, like, really discover me. And through that, then, if they really like me, they'll follow me, and they'll start to hear my music, and they'll see who I really am. And so I started, doing, these things, and I started to see it picking up, and I started to actually take it seriously. And I was like, I need to, like, really go in on this, because if I could build on this platform, it's a chance for people to discover me. And, and the way that this industry is like, it's difficult because it's what people will say, well, it doesn't make sense. If you're so great, why don't you have all these followers? Well, you're not going to have followers if people don't know you. And how are people going to find me if they can't discover you? And so the glory of the app on TikTok is that you don't have to follow me to find me. It just will come up on your page,
Right. And so it's funny that you said that, because I was on TikTok and I got all paranoid when they told me that the Chinese can, like, get in my phone and check all my movements. So I actually got off.
It's so funny because someone told me that, and I was like, I could care less. They can find me all they want. I've been working on this career for way too long. If they could go in my email, I ain't got nothing to hide. Come in first.
That's funny.
I'm good. And so I just started.
So you went viral.
Platform, and I started doing live concerts, and just, like, all the time, like once a week, and just singing songs for people, and just wanted to bring light in such a negative time, like, and try to make people just feel a little bit of joy, because we still have to live, we still have to, like, we still have to enjoy life somehow. And for me, I know that music can heal so many people, and so I started, just doing that, and really just, owning in on everything that was going on. And then I also did a music video for Janet Jackson, and she reposted the video on her page, and so that also brought a lot of people to my page. And that was super awesome, because Janet's, like, one of my biggest influences. And that was crazy.
So, Frankie, let me get into your business, honey, because, listen, I've been in the house for almost 4 months, and I'm very single. But the people want to know, Frankie, who have you been locked up in the house with? Who is helping Frankie, I don't know, rub his knees when they hurt? Who helping you shave your face? What is going on? Who rubbing your back, Frankie? What is Frankie single?
I am single. I have been single for years. And people ask me this all the time, and they're like, but why are you single? And I always tell everyone, like, with my career choice, for the point of my life that I'm at, I have to be happy with myself before I can make someone else happy. And I know that for me, like, I want my dreams to come true more than anything. And so I'm so focused on that I just never made time for something else. And I think eventually in my life, because I do feel like, it's something special to have. It's not like that I don't want it. It's just I know for right now, it's just not what I'm looking for, because I'm just so focused on that one thing. And I know that when I get that, then maybe things will be different.
Because I see a lot of your Z-Mob wives in here, honey. They didn't propose to you 700 times. I'm like, well, slow down. Let me ask the man. So you mentioned your dreams. I'm curious, what does a dream of Frankie's look like? What is something that's on your bucket list that you're like, okay, this is a dream that I have to accomplish before I die? What does that look like?
I have to do the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I have to perform at Madison Square Garden, do the Super Bowl, win a couple of Grammys, and I think I would be content.
I don't think so. You give me the energy that nothing is ever going to be good enough. Like, until you literally conquer. Yeah. Then it's going to be like, I want to do this, and I want to perform on Mars, and I got to talk, I'm performing look, Jesus and his, all that. So I don't think that would be what you would, that would satisfy you. But let me ask you this. How did you go from being the kid that felt no one believed in, that no one believed in you, to opening up for Justin Bieber? Like, how does that transition happen?
Well, I've always had a very strong competitive nature. I actually thrive off of, like, people's feeling. Like, when someone tells me that's never going to happen, when someone tells me you're never going to do this, I usually do the complete opposite, because it's just like my nature. I'm very, like, I always told people this: I'm never gonna let one person determine my future. I'm not gonna let someone sitting behind a desk tell me that dream can never come true. And so for me on my platform, I always really try to push other people to go out there and pursue their dreams, because I know that some people don't have the similar personality that I do. And once, if they've had a couple of negative experiences, or a bunch of no's, or a bunch of people telling them this isn't going to work, they've given up. And I just feel like, in the way that this business kind of works, it doesn't, there's a million people, you know what I mean, that will tell you no before you get that one yes. All you really need is that one.
It's funny, my husband, I don't know if you know what that means. My gay husband, he introduced me to you. He said, I love him. He's so talented. Here's the thing. We just had this conversation the other day, and I told him about being in the industry. You would hear literally 1,000 no's before you get yes. You only need one yes.
That's it.
And once you hear that yes, the no's are irrelevant.
Absolutely.
So I love to hear you say that, because there's so many people on the line right now who are, who have dreams or things that they want to do, may not necessarily know how to activate them. But the first thing to activate any dream is to start, just to do it.
Absolutely. And
no matter what you do.
Just to have that, I always tell people I'm human. So I do have days where I feel down, or I'm just like, is this crazy? Like, this is never going to happen. Am I nuts? Like, I have those days. But and I always tell people it's okay to feel like that, because, like, we're human, and it's just about surrounding yourself also with good people, good energy. I have an incredible family that just has always supported me, and, has helped me, like, push to reach my dreams. And I try not to surround myself with, like, negative people. I've lived my whole life constantly, like, always thinking that I needed a record deal, or I needed those people to love me. And until I started to realize that it wasn't about them, it was really about the fans. It was about the people and them loving me. And to stop trying to satisfy everyone else and just do me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hopefully people love it. But I do think that when your true self comes out, and when you really shine in your light and who you are, it does radiate more to people and gravitates to more people.
Yeah. What was it like to be from Staten Island and touring in a boy band? Like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? And now you are a solo artist. Like, talk to us about that, because I know I'm a stand-up comedian, and I did a panel talk show. So it was a struggle for me to work in the ensemble, because I've always worked in the opposite as a solo. Now you were coming from an ensemble to a solo. So what was that transition like for you?
Well, it's crazy because I wouldn't undo any of it. Like, I would never have been to this point without the boy band because, one, it opened so many doors. Two, it gave me the courage and the confidence because I was going on stage with other people. So, like when you go on stage by yourself, it's scary because if people don't, like if you feel like, oh no, like they're not loving me or something, it's like you're by yourself. But when you have the camaraderie of other people, it's like a safety net. And so it's like doing the transition from being in a group to myself was like a little strange at first, but there was also so many great things about it because I was able to explore like so much more and feel like I was becoming a better artist because when you're in a group, everyone has to kind of stay on the same level together, not in a bad way. It's just if someone dances incredible and another kid doesn't, you guys both have to kind of be here so that the group, has a, makes sense.
Another thing that I would mention about that is if there's someone who's here and someone's here, usually the person it eventually plays up. Like you balance out.
Yes.
It's rare that the person's here will play down because the goal is to always bring the next person up to the level.
Always.
So that's the point of the camaraderie. You have a team, you have a group, you're leaning on each other to strengthen whatever your weaknesses are, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you experienced that, whatever that was. You may have been a stronger dancer or a better singer than one or the other, I don't know, but I'm sure you've experienced that because I have to.
And we also just had like a great brotherhood because I grew up always dancing and performing, so I was always surrounded by so many girls, and I have an older sister, I don't have any brothers, and so that was also awesome for me too because just kind of having that bond, you know what I mean, was a different feeling than the bond that I had like with my friends who are females. It's just different. Well, I love them both, but just a different kind of energy, and we still keep in touch and we still talk. I actually was just talking to one of them 3 days ago. He sent me a message and he was like, I'm just so proud of you that you keep pushing through and you keep that you're hustling and still trying to make it happen, and it's just like always like great to see that. And
I'm excited for you. How was your experience on the CW contestant show, like the next, like what? Because I don't particularly like competition shows, and I've been asked so many. Right, I was waiting up. Just be honest, honey. Spill all your tea here. So, when you hated it, why did you hate it so much?
Sorry, my phone's paused. I hated it because I already knew. Because everything on the reality shows, and sound awful to say, but it is so preset and like planned. And like, I'll give you an example. The song I sang, they made it like I picked it, and they were like. And I was like, oh, yeah, I love this song, but I didn't want to sing that song, and I didn't want to wear that costume. And, I wanted people to see me in the light that I wanted them to see me in, but I had to play a certain role, of the way that the show was. But that being said, I didn't actually hate the whole experience of it. Like, there were so many parts that were cool and exciting, and, I got to meet Gloria Estefan and Joe Jonas and Nelly, and I got to perform on television and experience something that I never would have, but I would never do it again.
Right, would you do it again? No! Okay, so...
You know what, too, I always tell people, like, because of art, and I know that I don't feel that I want to go on a television show and be critiqued. I'm going to give you an example. Jennifer Lopez, who's one of my favorite artists in the world, right? I love J-Lo. I don't think she would do well in a singing competition show, but yet she's the biggest artist in the world. So would that be good for my career or bad? I feel those shows are more meant for people who really are just vocalists. If you stand on stage and you can sing like nobody else, amazing. But I want to be an entertainer. I want to entertain people. I want to wear costumes. I want to have dancers. I don't want to just sing there and sing. That's like not my thing. And so people are always like, I want you to do The Voice and American Idol. And I'm like, I mean, I would never say never because you just never know in life, but it's not.
And I understand it. I understand that exactly. A friend of mine just did America's Got Talent, and she's a stand-up comedian, and it's kind of a weird energy to tell jokes in front of 4 people, no audience, there's no energy in the room. It's just, she did well, but I knew that if there was an audience there, she would have destroyed it. So it's just like,
and I don't want to go on TV and not have my moment the right way. I don't want people to see me. And I know, because I know that exact feeling. I've gone singing in front of 3 people that are literally like this. it's hard for you to do the same effect when you're like having the energy and the people and you feel it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, Frankie gonna give them arms. Okay. Listen, so you're in the upcoming Netflix original movie, The Fifth Borough. So you are really stretching yourself. You're singing, you're dancing, you're writing, and now acting. What was your takeaway experience from that?
Well, it was a very cool experience. I actually played like a drug dealer, which is so far from who I am. And I loved it. I love acting. I grew up doing musical theater, so acting is something that I definitely want to get back into. I just haven't focused on it a lot now because I always tell people I don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. And I feel like if I split myself into too many things, I'm not going to just achieve one area. So right now, my focus is really on singing. The opportunity, though, came to me randomly on Instagram. Somebody messaged me. I thought it was a hoax, and it happened to be real. And so it was a very small role. I only had to film for a couple of hours, but I loved the experience. I love acting. I love playing different roles of different people. It's fun.
So let me just tell you something. It can be that you are on set with Netflix for 20 minutes, okay? Go get that check. That's right. Because they do pay residuals. Are you crazy? I did a movie called Sextuplets with Marlon Wayans, and I just randomly got a check. I was like, oh, they sent checks. So get that money. Last but not least, I'm getting the rap time. I want to talk about you producing and directing your own show at the Mohegan Sun Resorts in Atlantic City. I foresee this for you. I see you producing your own shows and taking it on the road. But being a producer is a lot of work.
Yeah,
people don't understand being a producer. That means you have to cast it. You have to find the money. You have to find the venue. It is a complete headache. Would you do it again? And what was the greatest, what was your greatest feeling? Like when you was like, I did it. Like how did that feel for you?
I mean, of course, the greatest feeling is the moment at the end, when it's like you actually did it and you're seeing all the people and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how we pulled this off, but we did. So I work with a production company, so I did have some help. And so it was really the three of us, but they did give me full reins because they know I'm very picky and I like to be creative. And so I choreographed the show, I costumed the show, I set all my music, all the band rehearsals, everything. Like there was not one thing that went on that stage that I did not have my hand on. And so that part was crazy because it's like I have people coming up to me and they're like, Frankie, do you know blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, okay, today I'm trying to be the singer, because I have to go into my role now. But I have all these other jobs. And so it's definitely, the process of it was stressful. It was very overwhelming at times because, I'm not sleeping and I'm trying to juggle all these people and text messages and, what time are rehearsals and where is the space going to be and how are we getting the props there and who's painting the prop. And it was just like, crazy. But in the same sense, I love that I was able to do it my way and people were able to see me in the light that I wanted them to see me in. I had over 30 dancers in my show, 17 costume changes, 280 costumes altogether with all the dancers, over like 170 music tracks. So it was definitely in such a fun experience. I don't want to do it again, only because I want to go on stage and I want to start performing my own songs. And I want to start really making a name for myself. And I don't want to be like a Vegas or Atlantic City headliner. Meaning doing other people's music. I want to make a career, performing my own records and my own songs. Not to say that I wouldn't throw in a couple of, covers.
Yeah, a couple covers,
fun. But I always feel like I never want to settle in something. I always want to grow and continue to be better and, chase bigger dreams. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But I definitely would go back and do it like once, you know what I mean? Like just like a one night performance and just pack out the house and just, sing and make dance and entertain people. I love to perform. That's my dream.
So before I let you go, I cannot let you off the hook without at least asking you to sing us something. Sing us a little something, a little lullaby. I don't know. Just sing something. You know, look, all the wives on here, honey. Sing to us.
Okay, I'll actually sing. I'm remaking a song tonight, so I'll sing that because it's just in my head because I was practicing it before.
Okay.
I've been really trying, baby.
Come on.
Trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel like I feel, baby, then come on. Oh, come on. Let's get it on. No, baby. Let's get it on. Let's love, baby. Let's get it on. I love you. Let's get it on.
What you know about that music, Frankie? How old are you?
I love my throwbacks.
Yes, my mom in his singing. You hear me?
Motown is my spot.
Yes, you ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him. Give it up for Frankie, you guys. Listen, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with All Live with Kiana Dancie, and of course me. I appreciate you. You sound amazing. You look gorgeous. You don't look like you've been locked up in the house. You working out?
I actually did today, but trust me, the amount of Oreos that have gone into this body is not a thing I want to talk about.
Hey, listen, my refrigerator has put a restraining order on me. Trust me.
I need to put a lock on that
faulted her.
And I do not want to know the digits to it.
Not at all. Listen, we love you. We are so grateful that you came to hang out with us today. I'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you
so when
much.
you drop new music or whatever you have going on, know that you have a home here.
Thank you. I can't wait till we meet one day. You'll have to go to a show.
That part, when Corona is not in the air.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll hang out. I'll see you soon.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hey guys, what an amazing chat with Frankie. Listen, you guys, I don't know where you are and whoever you're doing it with, but remember, you guys should follow me on Instagram. I am here Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. I appreciate you. Yes, Frankie is gorgeous, honey. Beautiful voice, working out. He said he in there eating too many calories, but I don't believe it. Okay. He don't have no woman, so y'all might as well get in his DMs. I'm not saying that you climb in his DMs and say, hey, boo, but I am saying the man don't have a woman. So go ahead and check it out. But make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Kiana Dancie. My next person is coming on. I don't even know if he is here yet. But yes, they're not here yet. But we're going to have, listen, these young men that are just about to come on, they created a board game. And what's so crazy about this board game, honey, is the last couple standing. Can y'all, Omar and